And Dave, is there? I mean, young adult age has been with us since creation, so it's not a new thought. This transition from a child to a teenager, through a young adult to becoming an adult. Is there something foundationally wrong
with this generation right now? I just think a lot of times exactly what Rachael was saying. They've been disappointed again and again, so the lack of trust is not there. And also their whole idea of what is true has shifted. And so now they're saying, does it work? There just seems to be so many truths out there. They're not looking for the truth. They're looking for something that works. And so that's why they're looking for families and communities to say, was it working in here? Are you experiencing God? Is there something that is radically different with you? And if they don't see anything radically different, they assume it doesn't work, so therefore it's not true.
But Dave, to that point, when we accept a truth or a principle, we don't always know when we practice that truth, the benefits of the outcome or the consequences. And so is it true that young people it has to go by experience, or will they just absolutely not accept the fact that something may be true for their own protection and provision later on?
Let me give you a short story. We had a family that had a death in the family, and it was brutal. The whole congregation knew about it. The family, the day after the funeral, came and worshipped at the front row and experienced God, and the community came around them. I had a young man that came up to me and said, "Dave, I chose the right religion." I go, "No, I hope it's more than that." I said, "Why did you choose the right religion?" He says, "Because it works." And that's the door that they come through. And you hope at the other end of the door, they understand the cross and they understand a living God. But if you don't have a doorway that says this works, they're not going to go through.
So if, really a question to all of you, just I guess chip in as you feel you should. But if we had young adults here today and we said, okay, you can create a church of your choosing, what would it look like?
We have a sign as young adults come into our church that says, "Experience God, make a difference." And that seems to be two of the keys. I'm sure there's a lot of other keys that you can speak through, but they want to know, if there really is a God, I should experience this somehow. And so they need to somehow come face to face with the living God, and then they want to make a difference. They just don't. They don't want to spectate. They want to participate and make a difference in their community and the world.
We had one interview, and I asked the person, "Why are you still in your faith?" And he said, "It's because of the seniors in my church." He said, they are still volunteering, they're still praying, and that faith is real for them. They haven't put their feet up. And then there's this guy who's paralyzed from the waist down, all sorts of medical issues. He never complains. You can't fake that. So there's something about seeing a vibrant faith lived that is deeply impacting to the younger generation.
I think we can't overestimate as well the need for young adults to have somebody in that church that's in their corner, right? Yes. To provide that stability, somebody, it's not part of a program, but somebody who's interested in them for themselves and is constantly there praying for them and being a friend to them.
So, with family breakdown, as you referred to before, perhaps there needs to be more of that intentionality in terms of mentoring connections,
That's
I
right.
guess. Yeah.
And in the church, anybody can be that friend.
Yeah. Right.
I would say the audience, if anyone is thinking right now of a young adult in their life, now is a great time to be ministry of presence to that person that's coming to mind. There's something so important and foundational, how that impact of relationship, regardless of age, will make a massive difference in the life of
And
that
Rachael,
young
what does
adult.
that look like in real life, close up, to be appropriate about that kind of relationship? What can that look like?
You know what, Don, it really actually starts with each individual making a decision that faith is going to be transformative for them. So they're going to not just know about the Christian faith, but they're actually going to let the person of Jesus totally transform their life. And in doing that, they become an incredible model of this vibrant reality that we want young adults to engage in.
Okay, thank you. And as we close off here, I promised that we would deal with your advice for parents, your advice for pastors and churches. Let's start with parent, perhaps of young people that haven't yet experienced what we're talking about, but research is showing it could be ahead. What should parents be doing?
Well, parents need to be sharing their own walk. So they need to be talking about their own devotional walk. They need to be taking their children with them when they service the poor, when they experience God together. So it's a together faith.
And 2 consistent parents makes a massive impact on young adults.
And the research shows it?
Yes.
And the parents need to talk with their kids about the hard questions of life. And if they don't have answers, they need to be upfront and say, I don't have those answers, but I'm going to find those answers for you. And we're going to learn about this together. And so that the parents' faith becomes something that the kids can come alongside the parents in, and they can grow their faith along with them and model what they see.
And I guess we know that if parents aren't going to do that deep, raw, real teaching, then young people are going to learn all about life from all kinds of sources, because that information is delivered to them on the internet. What about for pastors and churches? Let's start with you, Rachael. Advice for a church from your perspective on what must be done to make sure young adults are welcome.
I think, again, this understanding that our faith is needing to be worn on our sleeve. It's needing to be vibrant and authentic and genuine. And so I think one of the main things within that is what are we doing with sin? Are pastors willing to talk about their sin and the way that Jesus delivers them from it in day-to-day life?
So the concept of looking oh so perfect as a church, sweeping those issues, it will not...
That's not going to cut it.
It's not going to go.
No.
Dave?
I'd say get the students involved early. They won't spend a month or a year to be able to get ready. Get them involved next week.
Yeah, but sometimes they're not ready to be involved.
There's always places, there's always things to be able to get some of these folks to do. And as they become a part of the community, working hand in hand with multi-generational relationships, then the transformation happens.
And Dave, you and I have watched when you risk on a young person.
Yeah, and it is risky.
Maybe before they're ready.
Yeah.
The growth that occurs is unbelievable.
Oh, it's huge.
So, last word to you, James Penner.
I would say connect with the young adults and know their names, give them opportunities to serve. This is with young adults, not to young adults.
I want to thank all of you for your vision for this study, such important work, but also, may I say, your love for the young adult generation. Thank you for that. Thank you for contributing to helping them in this way.
Thank you.